Patrick in Missouri, we're popping you back on hold. Wait, was that you? Are you there?
Hello?
I'm here.
Hey!
I'm here.
Oh, man.
Hey.
We almost missed you.
Hey, how have you been?
Good. What do you want to talk about?
I talked to you last April. I told you I'm a business owner, own a pub, and I was worried about, coming out in the community about, being a non-believer. And when I did that, guess what? Somebody came into the pub and said, "Was that you on talking?"
Oh,
no way.
Wow.
Yeah, really. So I found out that there is a community here.
Oh, that's awesome.
I reached out to them, and I'm now a member. And one of the fellows, and not only one of the fellows, has been a longtime customer of ours, and he's also a dreamer.
Okay.
Wow.
A part of the DACA group, yeah. And so I've gotten involved with those guys. And one of the things that's come out of this is we've started having roundtable discussions and meeting with people who are where I was, say, 10 years ago. Where you don't know, you're stuck in this community of you're going through the motions with your faith and you don't really believe it, and you're questioning the whole thing. And we've kind of become like this little secret sanctuary for people to come and talk over pints of craft beer.
Oh, I love that.
And single malt scotch about how do we get from A to B to somewhere further down the alphabet. Sure. And that happened because of your show.
Yes, that is awesome.
God. That's amazing.
I absolutely remember your call. Yeah.
Yeah, and that happened because of your show, and because I called in and said, what is my responsibility as a business owner? Because to my employees, like I said, I told you, we were the first bar in our town to have a Pride Night. and what is my responsibility as a bar owner to my employees to come out about my religiosity and lack thereof and my belief. And it was a good thing that I called your show, and I connected with somebody that was here in the community that also felt that same way and needed a place to go. And now we have a place to go, and we have a discussion. Now, we're not overtly, it's an Irish pub. So, there's always, people say, well, you were raised Catholic, aren't you Catholic? I said, well, I'm culturally Irish Catholic. I always will be. That's one of those things that the nuns beat into you. You're never going to get rid of it completely. But that doesn't mean I don't think. And so that's one of the things the Jesuits will make you do. Jesuits have made more atheists out of Catholics than anybody else. So,
Patrick.
But anyway, I just wanted to call you. It's been 6 months since I spoke with you.
Well, I want to ask you a couple questions, man. First off,
yeah, sure.
You're sitting on the other end of it. So for those people who are business owners who are sitting and wondering, what can I do? What should I do? Dude, you've lived it. What would you say to them?
Well, first off, don't be arrogant about it. All right? If people come and ask you, what's your belief, don't be militant. Say, look, I respect your beliefs, and I would hope that you would respect mine. And I've had somebody, so I've had that you hate God thing. No, I don't hate God, because how can you hate something you don't believe in?
Ooh,
all right.
I disagree.
What?
I hate Voldemort. And I hate Sauron.
No, it's always the thing. Well, it's not that, and then I misstated, really. I misspoke right there. It's not that I don't believe in God. It's just that I don't see any evidence for it. And then, of course, if you want to get into the deeper conversation, it's like, I really started having a trouble with a God that allowed innocent children to suffer needlessly with disease and things of that nature. And then you can go down through a whole, the rabbit hole of things. And I try I just try to read who I'm speaking with. And there's some people that you're just not going to try to reach. And over alcohol is really kind of a bad place to do that.
No, but you're on target by meeting them where they're at.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. The key. Now, the other thing is we still do our Christmas coat drive and Thanksgiving food drive for the Samaritan Center in town, which is affiliated with the church. We still do that because we don't have really there's not really what I would call a non-faith-based group in town that's doing that same thing. We've always done that for the last 19 plus years. Mm-hmm. And so we're still doing that. We're still involved in the community that way.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, so there are still people. One of my best friends is a retired Lutheran pastor, and he and I have some of the greatest conversations over biblical history. Matter of fact, we had a talk the other night about the Old Testament and the violence in the Old Testament, and of course, my background's in history before I got into business, and we came to the conclusion, yes, the Bible is very violent, the Old Testament especially, and even the New Testament, because society was very violent at that time. But we also came to an agreement that the Bible is violent because the other societies, the non-Hebrew societies, were also very violent at that time. But today, people using the Bible to justify their violence against others is what's wrong. And, but anyway, as a business owner, I think that you just have to be respectful, and hopefully the people that you come in contact with will respect your position. And if they don't, and like I said, many years ago, my wife and I, when we started showing that we were promoting values in which we accepted tolerance of people of color, people of gender equality, things of this nature. And there was a rumor running around town that we were a gay bar, and then that we were, there, to use a pejorative, we were the N-word bar in town. And we just said, you know what? If people are not going to come here because of that,
because of bigotry,
then I don't want them as a patron.
Yeah.
Fucking damn straight.
If people are not going to come to our establishment because of that, then so be it.
Good.
I don't want them as a patron.
Good.
Awesome.
Good. So before we let you go, do you want to give that group a shout? Anybody that you want to shout out before we move on? Because you've definitely earned it. I definitely want to hear if you're comfortable with sharing what your bar is. If you're not, then anybody you want to shout out?
Well, let me have my wife listen to this conversation right here that I've had with you. And then I'll give you another call in the near future. I have to get approval from the boss before I do anything further.
That is very wise, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. This is I'm on my third marriage, which has lasted 15 years. The first two didn't last a combined 6 together. So I've always learned. Make sure everything goes through the home office before you put it out there in the world. So
wise advice, my friend.
But I think she'll agree with me, and I'll call you back in the near future.
Awesome.
Sounds good. It was awesome hearing from you, Patrick.
Eric, Vi, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Or V.
That's okay.
Sorry, I did it again.
All right.
You guys have a great day. Have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Likewise.
Samhain.
Did you just say Samhain?
Yes, he did.
Hat off, sir. Hat off. That's awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, you know what? I think that if you do have that ability, you absolutely should. You don't have to put up with bigotry.
Yeah.
You don't have to put up with, that kind of crap. It's absolutely something that I know we've said on this show before, and we'll say again. If you think that we are going to help you with bigotry, you're fucking wrong, and you can find other places to go. this is an inclusive place, and we're fucking happy about it. And I know I'm going to read in the comments, Eric is such a cuck snowflake, you know. That's fine. That's fine.